Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Tales by Rose. I'm so excited to dive into today's story. It's going to be an incredible one. We are going to start with Chapter 1, The Ashes of Arrival, Exterior Port Authority Bus Terminal, New York City, August 2026. A wall of shimmering heat rises from the asphalt. A Greyhound bus, coated in road salt and grime, hisses to a stop. Elias steps off. He wears a cheap suit that's a size too large and carries a cardboard drafting tube like a holy relic. He looks like he hasn't slept in 3 states. Elias moves through the terminal. It's a chaotic symphony, a preacher shouting about the end of days, a ticket agent slamming a glass partition, the rhythmic quack of 1,000 footsteps. Elias reaches the exit. He takes a deep breath of the air. It smells of ozone, roasted nuts, and diesel. Elias steps out. He stares at the skyline. The skyscrapers look like jagged teeth. And then teeth bit into the hazy blue sky. The movement was dizzying. The colors were oversaturated, neon yellow taxis. My father told me New York isn't a city. He said it's an engine. You're either the fuel or you're the exhaust. A cigarette vendor bumps into him, nearly knocking his drafting tube to the ground. A vendor said to him, "Watch it, kid. Space is a premium. You stand still, you're a landmark. Move." Elias adjusts his bag. He looks at a crumpled piece of paper in his hand. Sullivan and Associates, 1 Penn Plaza. Elias walks. He's trying to look confident, but his eyes are darting everywhere. He passes a street musician playing a plastic bucket with incredible speed. Haditas is a businessman screaming into a headset. He passes a homeless woman. He was feeding pigeons with meticulously placed breadcrumbs. He stops at a crosswalk. He looks down. Stuck in a grate is a discarded, mud-stained Broadway playbill. I didn't come here for the theater. I came to build the stages, to put my name on the horizon so high that the sun hits it first. The walk sign flashes. A tide of people pushes Elias forward. He doesn't have a choice. The city is literally moving him. A monolith of black glass. Elias stands at the base, looking at his own reflection. In the tinted windows, he looks small, distorted, and hungry. He straightens his tie. He grips his drafting tube. Elias Waff, don't let them see you blink. He pushes through the heavy revolving doors. The sound of the street vanishes, replaced by the humming silence of high-end air conditioning. The floor is white marble, polished so bright it looks like water. A security guard 50s looks at Elias over the top of a pair of reading glasses. Guard said delivery? Service entrance is around the corner. Elias, I'm not a delivery. I'm the new architectural intern. Elias Thorne. The guard checks. He looks at Elias's cheap shoes, then back at the screen. He sighs and taps a button. Guard said floor 84. Try not to get blood on the carpet, kid. It's a long way down. Elias heads toward the elevators. As the door slides shut on the chaos of 42nd Street, he sees the city through the glass walls, vast, indifferent, and waiting. The elevator doors slide open with a silent, expensive hiss. The office is a cathedral. The employees are walking on clouds. Elias walks through the bullpen. Dozens of architects are hunched over glowing monitors, designing structures that look more like origami than buildings. Nobody looks up. He stops at the mahogany door at the end of the hall. Marcus Sullivan is visible through the glass. Marcus Sullivan stands with his back to the door. He's staring at the Empire State Building. Sullivan said, "You're 3 minutes late, Thorne. In this city, 3 minutes is a missed opportunity. A lost contract is a death sentence." Elias said the subway stalled at 34th, sir. Sullivan around, I don't care about the subway. I care about the sky. Sullivan points to a large holographic projector in the center of the room. He taps a tablet and a 3D model of a jagged. The crystalline tower flickers to life. It's terrifyingly tall. This is the Shard of Manhattan. It's going to be the tallest residential building in the Western Hemisphere. I want it to look like it's piercing the atmosphere. Elias walks closer to the hologram. He looks at the base of the building. The footprint is massive, sir. What happens to the 3 blocks of low-income housing currently on that site? He asked. Sullivan looks at Elias as if he's a bug on his windshield. And he said the city is a living organism. Thorne, old cells die so new ones can grow. We aren't in the business of preservation. We are in the business. Sullivan hands Elias a digital stylus. Make the plans for the lobby. I want it 60 feet high. All marble, no benches. No benches? Elias asked, where will people sit? They won't. If they're sitting, they aren't working. If they aren't working, they don't belong in this building. Get to your desk, said Sullivan. Elias sits at a desk the size of a dinner tray. He stares at the digital blueprints. He zooms out on the map. He sees the neighborhood his building will destroy, a vibrant, messy patch of Queens. But up here, you don't even see the people. You just see the shadows your buildings cast over them. A hand drops a heavy stack of binders onto his desk. Welcome to the machine, kid, said the senior architect. Start with the plumbing schematics for floors 1 through 20. Don't finish until your eyes bleed. Elias picks up the stylus. He looks at the holographic tower, his dream, and someone else's nightmare. He starts to draw. The fluorescent lights overhead flicker with a rhythmic buzz snap. Elias looks exhausted. His tie, so he's tucked into his pocket, his white shirt stained with coffee. He is surrounded by the night shift. And the crowd? Construction workers in neon vests, nurses in scrubs, and a man asleep on a pile of newspapers. Floor 84 feels like another planet. But down here is the engine room. And it's overheating. The train screeches to a halt at Union Square. The doors groan open. Elias steps onto the platform. The air is 10 degrees hotter and smells of damp concrete and old electricity. Then he hears it. A saxophone. It's not the smooth elevator jazz Sullivan plays in the lobby. This is jagged, soulful, and loud. It echoes off the tiles like a heartbeat. Elias follows the sound. He finds a young woman, Maya, a 24-year-old girl, standing near a pillar, playing with her eyes closed, her body swaying as if she's fighting the wind. Her saxophone case is open on the floor, scattered with a few crumpled singles and some loose change. Elias stops. He's mesmerized. For the first time all day, he isn't thinking about plumbing schematics or marble lobbies. The song ends with a sharp, defiant wail. Maya opens her eyes. They are bright, sharp, and lands right on Elias. You gonna keep staring? Or are you going to pay for the soundtrack to your midlife crisis? In New York years, that's 45. You've got corporate burnout written all over your forehead suit. Elias reaches into his wallet and drops $5 bill into her case. It's a beautiful sound. It actually fits the acoustics of the station. Most people don't account for the reverb off the vaulted ceilings. Let's take a quick break. Remember to subscribe, share, like, and comment.